They say this liqueur was once made by a prince, and the recipe was kept secret for centuries. Today, I'm going to hack that legendary Scottish recipe. Hi friends of cocktails, I'm 𝗏𝗏𝘄𝗀𝗏𝗏, and I've always been fascinated by drinks that have a story. And this one might be the most mysterious of them all. So I found a Scottish bartender who knows the Legend of Drambuie by heart. We'll bring this secret to life and see if I can actually recreate history. But the deeper I dug into this story, the bigger the challenge appeared. Turns out, hacking a 300-year-old royal recipe isn't as simple as I thought. Then it struck me.
It's cocktail time.
The legend begins on the moors of Culloden, where bonny Prince Charlie fought to reclaim his family's throne. And lost. Hunted to the Highlands with only a few loyal men by his side, the prince fled north. Until Captain James McKinnon of the Isle of Skye gave him sanctuary. To thank his protector, the prince shared his personal draught, a golden elixir where a few wee drops would give him strength and vitality. The secret recipe stayed with the McKinnon family for generations until a new name was formed, Drambuie, from the Gaelic 𝗏𝗏𝘄𝗏𝗏𝗏, a drink that satisfies. In 1893, the name was officially registered, and in 1914 it became the Drambuie Liqueur Company, bringing the royal liqueur into a modern age. Today, the recipe is locked away behind lock and key and only known by 3 people in the whole entire world. Until today. Enjoy some secrets being unlocked. Flange back.
An amazing story. Thank you, Sean, for giving it the authentic voice. You can find Sean in Panda & Sons in Edinburgh, in one of the most awarded bars in the world. As for the animation, check out Patreon to see how Sasha created it. If you're a fan of cocktails, chances are you had Drambuie before, in a well-known classic cocktail, the Rusty Nail. Today I'll also make a sour cocktail, appropriately called Bonnie Prince Charlie, linking the cocktail back to the origin story of the liqueur. I'll try both with a DIY and original Drambuie, and give my tasting notes on the spot. Then I'll tell you what's the secret of hacking the flavor profile of this whiskey liqueur. Over the years, the Rusty Nail picked up all kinds of names. The MiG-21, the Knucklehead, Little Club No. 1, or simply the DNS. The base would be Glenlivet 12, a double oak matured 12-year-old Scotch. It's a smooth, approachable single malt whiskey. Drinks historian David Wondrich traced the mix of Scotch and Drambuie back to 1937 in a drink called the BIF, made for the British Industry Fair. But since Drambuie was already being made in Edinburgh in the early 1900s, I'm pretty sure people were mixing the two long before that. The proportions can be a thing of preference, but most people settle somewhere around 3 parts Scotch to 1 part Drambuie. That's what I'm using here, plus 2 drops of 20% saline solution to boost the flavors. The drink really took off later, in the 1950s, at the New York Club 21, and then became a Red Pack's favorite in the 60s, which further boosted its popularity. Let's see if our hacked version does the job as well. First up, let's try the original version. Okay, I'm pretty familiar with this smell because I kinda like this drink in the first place. Citrus on the nose, plenty of fruitiness from whiskey, herbaceousness, a little bit of honey of course, because of the Drambuie. I think we hit the right spot with the ratio of whiskey and Drambuie here, with 3-to-1 ratio. It's a nice drink, I like it. And now, let's see how my hacked version does the job here. On the smell, on the aroma, it's pretty much the same because of the lemon peel on top, but still plenty of fruitiness from whiskey, herbaceousness on the smell as well. Same sweetness level. I was aiming for the same bricks of my Drambuie version. If I'll be trying this without knowing which one is which, I think I will have a hard time telling which one is my version. Maybe this one is a bit bolder in terms of taste. It still needs some time to settle down because this was cooked a couple of days ago, but I love it. Before the second cocktail, here's a quick hack you can use with your bottle of scotch to create an amazing mulled wine this winter. We'll do that by first creating a quick and easy fig liqueur with the help from our friends at Liqueur & Co. and their delicious caramelized fig syrup. Link below. Just mix equal parts of the syrup in your single malt. Give it a stir and that's it. Fig liqueur done. For the mulled wine, you'll gently heat some white wine with a little water, 2 cloves and 1 cinnamon stick. In a heat-proof glass, add the fig liqueur, a splash of rich syrup, and a few drops of saline solution. Then pour the hot wine mixture over it, straining out the spices. Give it a stir and garnish with a dried fig. Right now, Library & Co is running its Black Friday sale, where you can get 20% off all syrups, 25% off if you order 6 or more, and 30% off if you order 12 or more. The sale ends December 1st, so grab those syrups through the link in the description. A perfect cozy treat. Now back to the episode. We heard the story of Bonnie Prince Charlie and the origins of Drambuie, so now I want to see if his little secret for the golden elixir also shines in our sour cocktail that was named after him. There are plenty of different cocktails named after Prince Charlie, but I found this shaken version on Difford's guide. It first appeared in the 1937 cocktail book titled The How and When. The base spirit here is cognac, which could be a nod to the prince's years in exile in France, before he tried to reclaim the throne. Next up, our hacked Drambuie. The sweetness level is the same as the original liqueur, so we're adding the same amount as what's written in the recipe. Then comes the citrus. I would think lemon juice would pair better with cognac and Drambuie, but I guess lime juice made it interesting enough that even Trader Vic included it in his bartender's guide. Lastly, a few drops of 20% saline solution to boost the flavors. Now add ice and shake hard to mix, chill and dilute the cocktail. Fine strain into a chilled Nicanora glass and garnish it with a small circle of lime peel, expressing the essential oils over the cocktail. Cheers! Part 2. A shaken cocktail with cognac. Again, first let's try the original version. I've never tried Bonnie Prince Charlie before, so this is gonna be my first time trying this cocktail. And since I believe cognac and Drambuie goes well together, I am up for a treat. Let's see if this is the case. Cognac on the nose, with some honey of course, and lime freshness. Oh, I love this drink. I was expecting not enough of lime, to be honest, but it's nicely balanced. Smooth, cognac plays so well together with Drambuie, spiciness. Really love the drink. You have to try it. Now let's see how does the hacked version plays with cognac in this cocktail. On the nose, pretty much the same as in the previous one, in the Rusty Nail. Maybe a little bit more honey in here, and which is also seen by the foam on top of the drink. A bit different than this one, still in the same direction. I'm noticing slight difference. So the Rusty Nail was pretty much the same with both versions, but this one I could notice the difference between these two. If I would be deciding which one is better, I would have a really hard time to do it, because both are really great. So what do you need to make your own Drambuie? It really comes down to 4 parts of the puzzle: scotch, honey, herbs, and spices, with one specific ingredient I'll talk about later. Let's say I heard about it directly from the McKinnons. I'll be using a sous vide technique, which extracts flavor gently and evenly, giving us the smoothest possible result. It all starts with a good whiskey base, so I'm again going with Glenlivet 12, a smooth Speyside single malt with light, fruity notes that work perfectly for this style of liqueur. Next comes the honey. Drambuie is famous for its honeyed character, and this is what gives it that golden, rich character that is so important to achieve the perfect sweetness, without overpowering the flavor profile with honey. I'm also adding some sugar. Now let's build the spice layer. This is where the liqueur gets its depth: cloves, star anise, and fennel seeds. I'll gently crush them, just enough to open them up, not turn them into dust. For the herbal notes, I'm adding something fresh to leave the whole blend. Rosemary works really well here, so I'll add a few leaves. Then add dried orange peel for a bit of citrus, a few strands of saffron for color and subtle floral note, and vanilla for warmth. Cut the pot lengthwise and scrape out the seeds first. Once I have everything in a bag, it's time to seal it carefully and place it in the sous vide bath, set to 58 degrees Celsius or 136 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature makes sure nothing goes bitter, and the honey and spices melt perfectly into the whiskey. After 2.5 hours, it's time to take the bag out and let it cool down. Then pass it through a coffee filter. This will keep out the bigger particles, but it won't give you that clean, clear liqueur we're looking for just yet. Even the liqueur tastes best after a few days of resting. That's when the flavors settle and marry together, and the liquid clears even more. When it's fully settled, carefully siphon out the clear part on top and leave the sediments in the bottom. If you try to filter everything again, the tiny particles will slip through again and it won't stay clear. Make sure to add the label, and that's our hacked Drambuie done. I'll compare it directly to the original before I let you know the secret behind making it like they do in Scotland. Okay, let's try both of the Drambuie, original and hacked version. In terms of color, the hacked version it's a little bit more golden than the original one, but that's due to it's not being clarified completely when I was pouring it out. Okay, so I think at the end it would be even closer to the original one. As for spices, there is the freshness of anise, fennel in both variations. The honey comes through a little bit more in this one, but overall it's really close. Yeah, subtle florality, honey notes, spiciness, freshness from anise and fennel, richness from saffron. It's a lovely liqueur. Now let's try the hacked version. The sweetness is on the same level. There's a subtle difference, really subtle difference, but I like them both. A bit more bold in terms of all flavors in this one. I'm excited and I'm happy about the result. Let me tell you the secret behind getting as close as possible to the real thing. When I started developing this recipe, I tried a few versions with honey I had at home, and they were good, but I felt like something was always missing. That's when I remembered, the flavor of honey can taste completely different. It depends on where the bees live, what they collect, and even the season. If you want to match the flavor profile of Drambuie, the regular local honey just won't do it. I needed heather honey. It's what they used in Scotland, which is a rich, floral, earthy, and slightly smoky flavor. So I reached out to a good friend of the channel, Ian McPherson, Mr. Cocktail Panda himself. He was kind enough to hook me up with some authentic Scottish heather honey, so I could make a version that really captured the spirit of the original. And that's what I used to make my hacked version. So if you want to make a true Drambuie style liqueur at home, that's the key. Heather honey. If you want to see Roby and Sasha trying to figure out if they can taste the difference between the original and hacked Drambuie, check out our Patreon page, where we were live during the filming of this episode. Until next time, cheers, friends of cocktails.